What is up, everybody, and welcome to the show. This is episode 76 of the Life of Gaming podcast. My name is Jamie, and I'll be your captain on this cruise of video game awesomeness. And you all know my co-host since episode number 1, Mr. PlayStation himself, Mr. Josh Bryant.
Hello, sir. And yes, the Wizards just won against the Celtics. Boom!
Well,
Yes.
that's good to know.
So you're playing NBA Battlegrounds,
Right.
Is that,
Battlegrounds.
We have
Whatever.
nukes. We have missiles.
Oh
No.
my gosh.
I was watching. I have been playing NBA Playground, but
Playground.
I'm watching the game, and I want it to be 7-game series because I want the Cavs to be fully rested for whoever else they play. So I'm glad the Wizards won
go.
against the Celtics.
Awesome.
Yep.
That other
You
man
see,
you
my
heard-
priorities are in the right place here.
Of course. And a man with no priorities, Mr. Chris White.
Hello, James. Hello, Josh. My priorities are in line. None of them include sports. So
Right.
Only you have a Mavericks
listen,
hat on.
I got to be honest with you.
Touche.
I am so pumped to talk about Sony PlayStation tonight. It just warms my heart. I can barely contain it.
Wonderful.
I can tell.
Well, as you guys know, we're continuing our E3 prediction show. And tonight, we have a very special guest, a man from We the Nerdy, We the Gamercast, and If We Ran Nintendo. And to him, I would like to say, hey, Mr. Sean Capri.
Hi guys. Hi.
Nice.
Hi.
So gravelly.
I
How's
kind
it
of thought
going?
you were broke for a minute.
I was almost broken.
That's usually what happens when people do an impression of me, like, or even I do me. It just sounds broken. It just sounds like something's wrong with you. So you nailed it.
Thank you. So, has been a long time, man. How's it going?
I know. Things are great. I was thinking about just as before we started recording. I'm like, man, you guys were like the original. You guys are like the OG. Big time podcast that I got to be a guest on. I'm like, I'm coming home. I get to be part of the family. I'm so happy that you asked me to be
the
part
old
of.
man now.
Well,
I have
no,
a few
man.
grays popping
I'm
out.
I'm a huge fan. I've been for a very long time, and it makes me feel like an old man thinking about how long I've been listening to you guys. But it's great. This is awesome. I can't believe it. We did it.
That's
We made it.
right. I mean, we've been trying to get you on the show for a while, but schedules and, lined up and things
I
like that.
apologize.
No, that's actually, let our listeners know, man, what is happening in the real world outside of the podcasting and video game stuff.
Nothing. Nothing at all. It's only video games and podcasts.
Right.
That's the only thing in life that there is.
Nothing notable. Well, there's this other little 7-pound thing that sort of happened. So yeah, my wife and I just had a baby. His name is Lincoln.
He's adorable.
Thank you. I just, in case anybody didn't realize, the reason that we named him Lincoln is because Kelsey and I used to watch Prison Break, and there's Mike Schofield and his brother Lincoln, and throughout the entire show, they always called him Link. And we thought that was super cool to kind of sneak a nerdy name in there, and it fits. He looks like a Lincoln. I don't know. People always say that when they look at their kid, like, he looks like a Charles, and so they named him Charles. I don't know. So good enough for me. I raise him up and I go do 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 do. So it all works.
Oh man, to be honest, we're talking about PlayStation tonight. It's really a shame you didn't name him Kratos. You really missed that.
angry.
You really
mad
missed
the
that.
whole time.
Oh, my gosh.
Aries, Capri.
So listen, I'll give a shout out to Sean's wife Chelsea on Twitter. You can give her Twitter handle, but she's a professional photographer, and man, there are some pictures of him. I love the little one dressed like Mario laying on the just the original NES is just so great. I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, Chelsea Capri 23. We got in a little trouble just the other day.
Uh-oh.
A family friend was like, I really like those pictures. Like, this is just a elderly lady, like not elderly, but a little older. Not of our generation,
Oh,
fellas.
gotcha.
Yeah.
And she goes, I really like all the pictures, but I don't really think the one with the gun is very nice. And he's sitting next to the duck hunt gun. And it's like, it's a toy, it's fine.
Right,
but
it's
no, I just
orange.
think it's
Come
a
on,
gun.
dog
It's a
hunt.
little
Oh, that's
nice.
hilarious.
Yeah, our dogs are like, oh. talk
that's great.
PlayStation.
Right.
Thank you for having me.
Well, before we hop into that real quick, can I talk about? I already mentioned a lot of stuff you're doing. What all is going on in the gaming scene
right.
for you? Where people can find you and all that. Cool
Oh, sure.
stuff.
Just on Twitter like I don't do Instagram like Bobby or all these other people taking pictures and whatnot. Just
Yeah,
on Twitter,
Chris, what
Sean
do you
Capri. I
I
don't
love
know.
Instagram.
You know what? There are a couple people who are on there that are so great that because you get like the previews or whatever on Twitter and Facebook, and I'm like, maybe I just want to get on there and creep a little bit. Maybe that's where I'll start on Instagram. But you find me on Twitter, it's Sean Capri, Sean like Connery Capri like the pants.
Perfect.
John like Connery, Capri like the pants. I like that.
It's the easiest way to remember it.
Nobody knows how to spell Sean. And that actually what I'm finding is that nobody, like, as we get older, fewer and fewer people know who Sean Connery is.
Oh,
That's true.
They're like,
That's crazy.
"Oh, like Daniel Craig." I know, it's awful. So I need a new, like, Sean Bean.
Yeah. And then they'll be like, huh?
So you die in every
The guy
episode.
who dies and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy.
And I don't want that. I don't want that on my
right.
Stick with Connery.
Yeah, let's get in some happier news, because forgetting Sean Connery is a very sad thing.
Aw.
But let's talk about what we've been playing. And Sean, I'll let you do the honors and kick things off, man.
I'm so happy that you did because I mentioned this on Twitter. I tagged Brant, and I just wanted to let you know personally, Josh, how much I'm enjoying Neo
Oh,
on
Yes.
the PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
I got it from the library. I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I'm an avid visitor of my public library. That's where I get many of my games.
you're a man after Brant's own heart. That's all I can say.
I mean,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
cheap, really. Is that what it is? Too cheap to buy games. I just wait a couple weeks and I get it for free from the library.
GameFly.
I had this weird thing. It is.
Except for you have to drive there.
Right.
Oh, true.
Well, it's like 2 blocks away from my work. It's actually pretty great. It's very convenient. I don't really do anything that's inconvenient, and ain't nobody got time for that. But I thought Neo was going to be like a really, like, even though it had great reviews and people were talking it up, a couple months ago when it came out, I fired it up and I was like expecting kind of like a cheap ripoff of the Dark Souls Bloodborne thing. And I love Bloodborne. I think that world and the goth kind of setting is really cool. I still don't think anything beats it. So I kind of fired this up going like, yeah, I'll just kind of give this a shot, maybe play it for an hour and take it back to the library. So you don't have this main commitment. You don't have the $60 purchase weighing over you. So I have a very casual relationship with many of my video games from the library. So I didn't expect to really get into it. And I got to the first boss, and it's when I like kept trying over and over and over again. It's when it hit me. I'm like, damn, I think I like this game. So I'm loving Neo, and I didn't think that I would. So
And every
There's
time
that.
you die, you go, Josh Brant!
Josh Brant, it's your fault.
I have you in my grasp now.
Oh, man. Look out
I
for his
still-
thumbs, man.
I still think Bloodborne is better, and I still want to go back to Bloodborne, even after Bloodborne was my first Souls game, and so I think that will always hold a special place in my heart. I don't think it's going to be hard for anything to really top that. Even when I play Dark Souls, I don't like that setting nearly as much as the monsters and the like. I get genuinely freaked out when I run into a new enemy in Bloodborne, and when I play Neo, like I never get that. Like the guy looks tough, but it's never like, oh crap, that guy's gonna eat me alive kind of thing. It spit out my bones.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I'm playing it at a perfect time. It sort of is a nice distraction. The only hard part is that, I don't know where. It's just like Bloodborne where I don't know where to go. So I don't know how far I am from like a save point or like the prayer station or whatever. So
Yeah.
that's the only tough part, is fitting that in with new life now, like with a baby. Like I don't really have
Gosh.
a way to say I've got 4 hours to play a game. I've got maybe like a half an hour where I can jump
And
in.
that's the time
Feel that.
you can't play with a newborn baby on your lap.
Maybe try
if
that.
you're going to throw your controller, you might accidentally throw the baby.
Yeah, that,
the TV.
I learned that the hard. Oh, I didn't learn it the hard way, but I learned my lesson before anything horrible happened.
When
But-
Lincoln
baby's
was
bound,
across
it's
the
fine.
living room.
just like, oh yeah, you're
Sorry.
fell on
trying not to squeeze you too hard.
oh, man. Anything else, though?
I've been that's the most notable. Everybody else, I'm the same as playing a little bit of Mario Kart 8,
Sure.
playing a little bit of Puyo Puyo Tetris, and jumping in online. I love playing online with Puyo I have a hard time saying that game.
Puyo.
But yeah, man, I'm loving all the different modes, and like anytime I get a little bit
Pizza,
bored
pizza.
of just Tetris, I play Fusion or Swap, or just change it up, and I'm been loving that game. So I'm loving my Switch. I'm loving my PlayStation.
Awesome. And that's why we're here tonight, talking about the PlayStation. And
James Way.
speaking of PlayStation, Mr. Josh Brandt, what you been playing?
Well, I alluded to Prey last week, and I'm not too far into it. I was really hoping this game would really sink its teeth into me like BioShock did, and just be one of those gameplay experiences that I'll never forget. I haven't felt that yet, but what I like about Prey is how the gameplay mechanics are. Meaning, there's just a lot you can do as far as well, you start off as just a human, and you can lay turrets out and upgrade your skills in that way, hack things, use cameras and stuff to force out the mimics, as they're called, that can jump into different items. And then you can also gain mimic powers, which you transform into any object. And it's really, really weird when you go inside like a toilet roll or something and just roll around. But it works. It surprisingly works well.
The look on Sean's face was great.
Yeah,
I'd pay like 99 cents for that experience a month.
yeah. I mean, it's different. It's really unique, and it's cool though, because when you gain those powers, then like turrets, they won't fire at you. But if you put like the mimicry into you, they'll recognize you as an enemy and then start firing at you. So you lose your ability to take down turrets. So it's either give or take, and I like that gameplay aspect of it. Yeah, it's just feels empty to me though. Like BioShock had a lot of character, like the NPCs and stuff, like Fontaine and Andrew Ryan. They had something else going on, and this game doesn't feel like there's anybody else really. Like you get audio diaries, but it doesn't really help the story come along. So it's more like an empty husk of what BioShock is. But overall, it's good, and yeah, I'll keep playing that.
Sure.
And then,
does it seem like any of the similarities to BioShock? Like, is it too on the nose? Is it too directly influenced by BioShock, and that's like leading a lot of people to be disappointed?
I think that's exactly right, because like I said, I wanted this to be the BioShock clone of this year, and that it's a nice distraction, and I'm having a lot of fun with it, but I sort of wish there was something else to it. Like, it just feels empty to me. Like, I like the setting that you're on this space station, but yeah, it doesn't have the style of BioShock, I guess.
See, I almost think the BioShock comparison it does it really kind of a disservice.
Yeah,
this is kind of my concern with We Happy Few on Xbox, is because as soon as they showed that, it was like, oh, it's like BioShock. But that game is really nothing like BioShock.
I agree.
Outside of feeling kind of atmospheric, and the art, the visual design is similar, but like outside of that, it's nothing like it. And from everything that I've read, and I haven't, all I've played is the demo of Prey, which they dropped I think it's like the first hour on Xbox. Yeah. And PS4, so I played that, and yeah, so I get the similarities in that it's a first person game. It tries to be narrative driven, but really I almost think that kind of does a disservice, because when you go into that game thinking in your head, hey, this is going to be like BioShock, it's really hard to meet that level of expectation, and anything that falls short is gonna unfortunately be seen as a lesser game.
Sure.
And that's kind of unfair to Prey. I'm not saying it's anybody's fault. I mean, it does kind of look like BioShock,
right.
But yeah, I almost think that kind of does a disservice.
Sure.
And how about the controls, Josh? Sorry to interrupt, James. On the PS4 on the demo? I noticed, and I never noticed this sort of thing. Like the input lag was significant at the demo, and I know that they're talking about patching it. Have you noticed? Did you play the demo, and did you notice it there?
I never played the demo. I wanted to go in blind, but playing it, I sometimes get that feeling of the controls just feel a little clunky.
Yeah.
BioShock had the same sort of feel though, but switching between the plasmids and shooting felt intuitive and it felt good. While this one, you don't have to worry about plasmids or anything. You get the alien powers, but then when you go to the guns, it just doesn't feel right aiming. Like it doesn't really have an iron sight that you can go into, and it's odd in that way. There's some gameplay elements that don't work well, but there's enough difference with it. Like I said, with the getting the turrets or the guns, like there's this glue gun, GLOO, that's you can freeze enemies in, or build. I found that you can build platforms up to areas that you may not be able to get up to, which is pretty cool.
So this really sounds like Home Alone for the Sega Genesis, because you got the
Like
glue
traps.
guns and you can build the traps.
Dude, that game was so
James.
good.
So good, and you had to ride around on your sled. Sorry,
I want that game remade. But yeah, like you guys hit on it. There's just things that don't feel perfect about it.
Now,
from
Brant, I'll
anything.
cut you off there because if you guys watch our YouTube channel, make sure to check it out. We have, sometimes a few times a week, depending on, how much we record. We have the break room. We just kind of take a topic and, spread it out over about 15, 20 minutes. We'll be
Now,
talking.
you would say the break room is kind of like water,
right, like a water cooler
conversation?
conversation in your face.
In your face.
Oh,
In
that's
your
right.
Pretty
face.
much.
That's
Right in the face.
But we're actually going to
We
be
should
talking
make that.
a
We
little
should make
bit.
that a slogan.
Right. But we're going to be talking about Prey and the review scores and kind of, Bethesda's,
Yeah, there's been an outcry.
their new, review, what do you want to call it, law, where they don't release it
Policy.
early. So we'll, if you want to hear more about that, we'll put that in our break room. So make sure to check out our YouTube channel for that. But, okay, Brent, anything else, man?
Yeah, I'll just hit on this quickly. NBA Playgrounds.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Playing that. And yeah, it's like another instance of Prey not being BioShock. This is an NBA Jam. Like I went in
Disappointment is
thinking
everywhere.
That's true.
no, it's fun in its own right. But the control.
It's no Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Right.
No.
Exactly. Yeah.
But we'll be saying that for years to come.
But when I'm Kevin Nash or your beloved Mavs guy Dirk Nowitzki, and I slam it in
You mean
someone's
you mean half of the Wolfpack, Kevin Nash? He's in that game. That's amazing.
Yeah. Steve Nash. Steve Nash.
Oh man, I hope Scott Hall's in there because he's my favorite. Razor
There you
Ramon.
Oh,
yeah.
man. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Diamond Dallas Page. No. It's a fun game though, but it doesn't feel right. Some of the shooting mechanics. So I just, they said they're going to fix some things, add some different gameplay mechanics. Sometimes it feels cheap, and like when you want to dunk, he'll just like do this weak layup right next to the basket. It's like, what's going on?
Oh, man. That's because you're playing as Kevin Nash. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's
Right.
He's got no
not really
skill.
much,
Steve
not really much of a
Nash.
dunker. Not really much of a dunker. Hey,
Why do you
I will say
hear
this.
that corrections?
One of the things that I really like about Playgrounds is you unlock players through like packs. Of like car, almost
It's
like
the
packs of cards,
Overwatch sort
which is
of.
cool.
Or Plants vs. Zombies Garden
Which
Warfare.
I don't like that you
I think it's kind of cool.
that you
I think it's
unlock
kinda cool.
duplicates though. And that's something in Overwatch that drives me crazy too. But
Yeah,
it's
but
like
like-
I open a whole pack. You get 5 cards, and when 4 of them are duplicates, it's just like, man.
Yeah,
other
but
than that,
they still like attribute points to that,
Yeah.
like to leveling up that
Like a
character. So
hunter,
at least
which-
there's some value there. But I actually
Yeah.
like it as opposed to just beating a game, beating like a season or something, and then now you have this person unlocked. Kind of doing it in packs is kind of fun.
Now, I'm
Yeah.
assuming you both got it on Switch, right?
Of course, is there
No,
other
PS4.
platforms?
Oh, Brant got it on PS4. Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
Wait,
there
what,
is.
what is this? What
and
is
it's not blurry.
this-
Thank God.
this PS4? What is this? What is
Oh,
this?
man.
PS4? I don't know what this is.
Okay, Chris.
It's on all current gen consoles.
Right.
Oh, so you mean the Nintendo Switch?
What have you been
That
playing,
one?
man?
Sure.
Oh, I've been playing. I mean, Nintendo Switch. I thought that was pretty obvious.
Wow.
I thought that was pretty obvious. Yeah. So what Playgrounds came out, and that's good. Tetris, Puyo Tetris is great. Mario Kart is still the greatest game ever made. When are we recording this? This is Friday, so yesterday Minecraft dropped on Switch. So if you're playing Switch now, you have Minecraft. If you want it, it's $30. I believe it's like 10 times the size of the worlds that you could build on Wii U. So the giant
100
worlds.
times the size on the Vita for some reason.
Yeah, well, that's 'cause
Really? Is that actually? Is that?
No,
I'm not
that's
sure what people are. What
The
people are
worlds were
joking
really
right now.
small on Vita. I was like,
they were,
"Man, what
they
is
were just
this?"
4 blocks.
I don't know it's real. Right now.
Oh, man.
Yeah, hey, so
They
so,
just
I mean,
ported the
look,
Pocket Edition,
if
right?
you
Off cell phones?
if you like Minecraft, I will say this: I bought Minecraft several places before. I have the mobile version on my phone, which I will play. I played it quite a bit when it came out, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. Every now and then I'll jump in just for fun, but like Switch is perfect for that game, just to be able to, take it out and whatever, go and mine, store up some stuff.
Wait. In that game,
maybe do
you
like
mine and
you do
craft,
mine,
right?
and you
Okay,
also
just
craft.
Just want to make sure.
Mm-hmm.
You also ride pigs, so that
Yes,
happens.
you can ride pigs.
So that's actually really good. I will say that it's still Minecraft, so there's not really much new about it. There is the new Nintendo content, which is nice, but now playing it on Switch, kind of being away from the TV and getting that experience, really just makes me long for Stardew Valley. I cannot wait until Stardew's out.
I still haven't played that.
So yeah, so it's good. So Minecraft, I've really kind of deep dived back into Zelda, I deep dived in. I was going to just kind of beeline to. I have all 4 beasts now. I have the Master Sword. I was just going to beeline right to the castle, and then I saw something shiny, and about 14 hours later, I'm still just like now I'm basically just outlining the map all across the coast, and I just the game is so good.
God, I never even considered doing it that way. That's brilliant. Yes,
it's great. It's great. So I keep finding shrines. I keep finding more and more shrines. Just today, I found on the far east side of the map towards the north. Once you get over the snowy mountain, so like literally the northeast corner, there are just these giant they're not like platforms coming out of the ocean, and there's like different things on them. They're like little toadstools almost, from like Mario World, and you're going from like toadstool to toadstool, and you get to this place where there's a shrine, and there's a big giant metal thing, like a metal piece. Well, I guess it's not metal because you can't use magnesis to move it. So what I ended up having to do was hit it with stasis and then pound it with a hammer, and then it just like flew off, and there's a shrine under it. And I was like, God, I love this game. I love everything about this game. So
good.
That's great.
Cool.
Yeah, that's all.
Now I will say, because you probably heard Chris slip up there. He said Minecraft dropped yesterday.
Oh, my bad.
But I will say we recorded this a little bit early because my wife has to have surgery, so we're kind of moving everything. But for myself, what I've been playing. Actually, Chris, let me ask: is there anything else you've been playing before I hop into my own? Okay,
I said,
cool.
I said
Just
that's
want
it.
to cut you off there.
No, you're good.
I'm continuing playing through Darksiders because Darksiders 3 was announced. I forgot how good. I haven't started Darksiders 2 yet. I'm still playing through Darksiders 1. I forgot how good that game is.
Yeah.
Because I think the sale's still going on, but when Darksiders 3 was announced, Xbox has the sale called the Dark Side. I think it's like the Fury Collection. It's Darksiders 1 and 2 remastered. Normally, I think they're $40 or $50 a piece. You get them both for $20. So $10.
Wait, isn't it
piece.
isn't it called War Mastered and Deathfinitive?
Yes, right.
Those are amazing names.
They're so good. But the games are great. Like, if you are interested in Darksiders, you can get the new remastered version, at least on Xbox. I don't know if it's on PlayStation or not, for $20. So $10 a game. I mean, it's a great deal.
You're really selling me on this.
And
they're really good games.
Yeah, they are. They're because it's like the way I kind of feel about like the first game is like God of War, right? I mean, it's mostly like God of War combat with a little bit of Zelda, mixed in. The second game is more like the classic 3D Zelda, right?
Yeah.
So you're running around open world and doing things. The new one, I know this is probably setting the sights way too high, but at least from the discussion, it sounds a lot like Breath of the Wild. Because they said it's a fully open world, and you're going against the 7 deadly sins, and I think you can tackle them in any order you want. So
Which I
it's like
like's
they're
cool.
kind of
That's cool.
changing every game. And in Darksiders 3, Fury, who you play as, they said she plays a lot like a mix of Catwoman from the Arkham Knight games and Bayonetta, because she has like hair powers and stuff. So I'm like, this sounds amazing.
I'm okay
so
with all of this.
I'm super excited for Darksiders 3. So playing through Darksiders 1 again to go, back full circle, it is a fantastic game. If you haven't played it, check it out.
Also, your little conscience character, the little smoke guy,
Yeah.
is voiced by Mark Hamill. So anything that he voices is fantastic. So.
And he always sounds like the Joker. That's the funny thing.
Sure, but
Like,
that's
he just-
okay because his Joker is amazing.
Oh man, but yeah, I'm and of course playing Mario Kart. My wife and I play Mario Kart, trying to unlock stuff. I've started going through 200cc by myself, trying to gold cup
man.
all those. I've gotten
That's hard.
3 cups done. I've got the Mushroom Cup and what's the one below that? The one with Moo Moo Meadows on it. That second one.
Yeah, that one.
And then the
Did they change Moo Moo Meadows to you guys? Did you,
don't think
like?
so.
Does it seem where the cows cross? It seems like the like a little narrower, or the cows are fatter, or there's more
Maybe.
cows. Or something.
Maybe.
I'm hitting cows all the time. What the heck?
I mean, they've made some minor tweaks. I know that, but
I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just bad at that course all of a sudden. But I always remember being wide open, and I never hit the cows. And now I'm hitting them almost all the time.
I remember when it was on Wii, they said they made the lanes bigger because most people were using motion control, and they wanted to kind of make it easier. And then when they moved it, I think they made the lanes smaller again.
Moved it.
Moved it. But yeah, Moo Moo Meadows, I love that course because it's just a classic circle, but the music is great and it's so good. But
It's funny when you hear you guys talk about Darksiders over the last little while, and I didn't know anybody who's played these games. And over the last couple of weeks, out of nowhere, everybody's not only because sometimes you hear people oh yeah, I love this game, and then they don't back it up. It doesn't sound like they even know what they're talking about. Of course I like this game. They're just jumping on a bandwagon. You guys know this game.
Yeah,
and
well-
you're not the only ones. All of us out of nowhere, everybody's big, huge
Yeah.
Darksiders fans. I didn't know you guys were out there.
it was sad when THQ fell apart because I'm like, they're not going to finish the story because from the
know.
beginning they set it up as 4 games. They announced
4
all
games.
4 horsemen at the beginning. They got through 2, and then THQ fell apart.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, we were talking about it, me and Josh, a little bit on our solo show a couple weeks ago.
Episode
but,
74, Star Wars. Check it out.
Yes, may the fourth be with you. But yeah, no, I love it. For me, what even got me is I'm a comic fan growing up.
You are? I never would've guessed.
Yeah, I was a huge fan of Joe Madureira, who is the guy who did all the art design on the first game. So when Darksiders 1 came out, I knew nothing about the game, but absolutely loved it, the design. And so I bought it just strictly on loving his art. And then I was like, holy crap, this is Zelda. It's like Zelda's progression, dungeon-based progression with God of War combat, and I'm playing it on an Xbox. I was like, holy cow, this is amazing. So yeah, I mean,
Not
I
a demon
love it.
fairy following you around hey, listen.
Well, kind
Yeah,
of,
you
That's
do,
who Mark
but
Hamill
it's
is.
Mark
No,
Hamill.
yeah.
Yeah.
We got to go this way. And it's like,
the Joker. It's
Yeah.
great.
It's
awesome.
I'm telling you, when you play the first Darksiders, it feels a lot like Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, now-
you will feel
that's
a lot.
hilarious.
Now, most people like at least from people I've talked to, like Darksiders 2 better. I personally like Darksiders 1 a little bit better, but they're both good. They're both good games.
Yeah, they're both good.
I
And-
feel like I've got them on PlayStation at some point with
Yeah.
PlayStation Plus or
Probably.
something. It's got to be. I was just going to check to see if I got it somewhere.
The funny thing
Play
is, Darksiders 1, I have on Xbox One because of the backwards compatibility being free with games with gold. And then Darksiders 2, I have on the Wii U because I forget, I got it free for something. It was free through Nintendo Club, or I forget what it was. But I still bought the remasters anyway because I'm like, might as well. So, I mean, it's so cheap, I rebought it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
Might as well is not the right answer to that.
Right. Okay.
That's just a waste of money. But
Hey,
yeah,
I
it's
enjoy
fine.
it. I enjoy it. But I mean, the funny thing is, because I was playing through Darksiders 1 on Xbox One, the Xbox 360 version, I was a few levels into it, and then that sale popped up, and I'm like, if I'm going to buy it,
Yeah.
I should probably buy it now so I don't
Buy
have to
it
go
now.
that much farther back through the game. And
true.
it doesn't look
version.
it doesn't look that much better, but the draw distance is better, the textures are better, and it just looks
Oh,
shinier.
I'd play the crap of it out of it on Switch. That'd be amazing.
Right. But okay, guys, let's hop into our news section in what we call Captain's Log.
There it is.
Yes.
Today,
God, I'm such a fan of that.
being the PlayStation episode, I got a whole bunch of PlayStation news for you guys.
Oh yes, thank you.
Chris's
Yes,
Praise the sun.
praise Ratchet.
well, actually,
Praise you,
Ratchet
Hank.
and Clank
Yeah.
is a platformer, and there's another great platformer soon coming to
Not.
PlayStation.
No, there's not.
Crash Bandicoot,
Like I said, no, there's not.
the
Stop
insane
throwing gray
trilogy,
around like that.
is dropping on PlayStation 4 soon.
Guys.
And when it was announced, Sony never said if it was exclusive or not. People assumed it was. If you guys remember last E3, I forget the guy's name, but he came out and like there were the Crash footprints on the
call
ground. He
him
was
Dan.
walking on them, and
Call him Dan.
right, Dan.
I think his name's Sean.
It, sure, Sean.
Sure.
Wasn't it Sean Lane? Isn't that who you're talking about?
Who knows?
But they never said if it was exclusive or not. People said maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Well, recently, in a Canadian Best Buy,
Yes. God bless Canada.
there was a sign hanging up for the game. Well, actually, it was a list of games coming soon. It had a picture of the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy. And underneath that game, in big font, it said 1 year exclusive.
What?
So, now, by the end of that year, who knows what could happen. But this means it may come to Switch, and it may come to Xbox One. And
You
maybe
know what this
PC, who
means?
knows?
You know what this means? In a
Chris
year
will
from
not
now, I will also have no interest in that game.
But it's so good.
Well, so good. I mean,
I remember that year, I think it was Christmas or whenever that came out. I got a PlayStation 1 instead of a Nintendo 64 because I wanted to play Crash Bandicoot.
are you sad?
You
You're
fell
a
for the
sad
commercials.
person.
Sad,
Yeah,
sad.
You are a
all the
sad
ads
little
in the
person.
commercials.
You are a sad little person.
I still got a Nintendo 64 later, but the problem was Brant had Nintendo 64, my neighbor had Nintendo 64, like everybody had one. They all had Mario, so I could go over there and play anytime I wanted anyway. So it was good. Love Crash Bandicoot.
This shouldn't really be a surprise. Like you mentioned this, and I'm like, oh, what a surprise! But then, as soon as you say they announced it, but did not say that it was going to be exclusive, that should have been enough for if it was going to be exclusive, they would have been screaming it from the rooftops.
Right.
Oh shoot! They announced exclusive commercials of exclusives. This is a PlayStation exclusive commercial for an exclusive PlayStation game that's exclusively going to be shown on our exclusive stage
Pro.
exclusively.
Well, it's kind of funny because like on YouTube and all those places, I follow PlayStation, Xbox, and GameSpot and all these places, and there'll be a trailer for a game. Every other channel will show it exactly the same, but the PlayStation channel will always start with a picture of the PlayStation. At the end of the commercial, say or not only on PlayStation but best on PlayStation or whatever it says. And so they, like you said, they make sure to drill in your head. Even though
Well,
it's
you
gonna be
joke about the
exclusive.
commercials, but they remember before we knew what Death Stranding was. They're like, we're announcing Hideo Kojima is exclusive on PlayStation. Like they made a person exclusive.
They
Yeah,
locked
hey,
up the man.
but I would just like to say that I still don't really know what Death Stranding is. So
it's going to
nobody
be the
does.
most amazing thing you will
Josh,
ever
if
Mentioned you're already
experience
playing
in
it
your
already.
life.
That's how
Brant
meta
already
this
gives
is.
it 2 thumbs way up.
Josh,
He's so
already
excited for it.
You're going to be.
if I was
so
in a room with you right
impressed.
now, Josh, I would punch you square in the face.
You would punch him so hard his beard would fall off. I mean,
That's right. I would do that.
you just punch him in his beard and go. Poof.
Oh my gosh, there is not a more overrated developer in video games than freaking Hideo
No,
Kojima.
there- what about that guy that did the Fable? What's his
Peter
name?
Molyneux.
Yeah.
Peter Molyneux.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
guy. Talk about overrated.
yeah, he
Come
caused-
on
Are you
now, man.
Come on, are you kidding me?
Guys,
Fable-
that guy's a joke.
Oh come on, Fable 2 is better than anything Hideo Kojima has ever crapped out on any platform at any time.
Pretty sure that's poop.
I see,
Dude,
Sean.
my
Yeah,
popcorn
exactly.
show. This is so good. This
This
is
is
why I'm
what
such
to deal
a
with.
huge fan. It's like, it's amazing.
Okay, I got to pull it
just
together. I
sit
got to
back.
reel you in, guys. I got to reel you
All
in.
right, news.
Okay.
Crash Bandicoot's gonna
Crash
go everywhere.
Bandicoot.
Nobody
We'll
cares.
see. We'll see what happens.
Move on.
Do you think 4K is exclusive to PlayStation though? Will it be 4K on Scorpio?
No,
my gosh, I
only
hope-
4K on
Okay.
PlayStation 4 Pro.
You can only find 4K on PlayStation.
That's right.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
We may, I know we're talking about E3 stuff. We may have had a possible E3 leak. We'll see.
Uh-oh.
In Brazil, So obviously, things happen in Brazil all the time. Someone thinks
I mean, people live there. Cars drive. People have meals. There's a
Volleyball
beach,
and soccer.
Things happen there.
Brazilians.
Things happen.
but you know what
the
else
sun
people
comes up, then it goes down.
right. But you know what people like
no
to do?
pubic hair.
What do they like to do, James? They like to go on the beach topless. Is what they like to do.
Well, thank you.
It's like, are you done?
The train is off the tracks. We'll see if we can.
Sorry, guys. I'm
No.
really sorry.
But Chris, what people in Brazil like to do?
No, tell me.
They like to party.
They do. Like to party. True.
And
Carnival.
rumors and trademarks have popped up for an exclusive PlayStation 4 party game. All we know from the rumor is that it's some kind of party quiz game in development at Brighton-based Wish Studios. It's going to use cell phones as controllers, kind of like the Jackbox Party Pack. If you played that, really good game. The one thing this makes me think of, and hopefully I'm right, I'm really hoping they bring back Buzz. Because the Buzz party games,
Quiz TV.
Buzz Quiz TV
Yeah, Buzz
was
Quiz TV,
so
yeah.
good. Because, we had every version of Buzz on PS3. It had those big, if you remember, Josh, the big buttons, like had the big red button and the colored buttons. Those
Yeah.
controllers were awesome. My wife, because, we got rid of my PS3, a while ago, my wife still says, to this day, I wish you still had Buzz. Because we played that. Every time we had friends over, we played it all the time. Buzz is fantastic.
Yeah. I just enjoy this because every time you say Buzz, I just think of Buzz Lightyear, and he is fantastic. You're right.
Now,
Infinity.
Buzz, the quiz show host, he kind of looks like a puppet because he's kind of like the way his mouth
Yeah,
moves.
no, I know this game. I mean that's smart. I think Jackbox is getting pretty good. At least maybe not. I mean I don't know. I've read a lot of reviews, but at least the reception from fans seems to be really really high on that game. And it makes sense. They kind of introduced this whole thing where if you have a smartphone, I mean, everybody has a smartphone. So if you have a smartphone, you can play,
Right.
which is super
Any
cool.
type
So I mean, it's a very smart thing to do in general. So yeah, I mean, this makes me think of again, we're talking about PlayStation, but Xbox did this too with oh crap, I forget the name of theirs, but they had a game that came out with the big buttons.
We had
Oh,
seen
yeah,
it
they
on
did.
Xbox.
Oh, seen it. Yeah, that's right.
That's
It
what I was
Seen It.
thinking of.
Yeah. So like, look, I'm all for this kind of thing. I would love for
Yeah.
Xbox to kind of make. Remember when Xbox 360 launched their like 1 versus 100?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's what I
that
thought
was
you
so
were gonna
good.
say.
I
Yeah.
would love to see like something like that come back.
That'd be awesome.
So I mean, if this is something like this for PlayStation that kind of incorporates the bigger community, that it could be it could be really cool.
Yeah. But Sean, you've been a PlayStation guy for a while, right? Or did you kind of hop on the
Yeah.
train recently? Now, did you
Nope.
play? Did you play any of those quiz games or anything like that on PlayStation?
Not at my place, but always at a friend. I've got a friend who he's got every single one of those types of games, like where you come over and you spend the entire night playing party games and stuff. So yeah, Buzz is hilarious, man. I think that I hope you're right because it does seem. I was starting to think of seeing it, but I wasn't sure if that was that exclusive to 360 or maybe. But Buzz makes sense in the land of PlayStation.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, man,
Is-
that would
is
be
Seeing It
that'd be
still
so
a thing?
cool. I don't know.
I think somewhere we've got a board game of Seen It somewhere from
Yeah.
forever ago. It comes with the DVD and you put it in. It's like
Yeah.
five different clips they rotate. Oh,
And it,
man.
in kind of in the ecosystem that we play in now, you think of things like Overwatch. That's just a service that's just constantly getting updates and costumes and stuff that come out for seasons and holidays. Like having a game show like that that's like, oh, it's Christmas. All the questions this month are Christmas related, and like stuff like that could be super cool. And if PlayStation's kind of putting their weight behind it, it could be a really cool thing for them to launch.
Jumping on the trends.
Right, and actually the second Buzz game on PlayStation, was it Buzz Quiz World? I know Buzz Quiz TV was the first one. It was like Buzz Quiz World or something like that. It did that because it always downloaded updates and gave you free questions. You could buy question packs like this is on Star Trek or this is on whatever, but it always updated questions, which is
That's cool.
really nice.
Yeah,
but
that's cool.
things that aren't getting updated and retro Wipeout Omega, which is coming to PS4. It's a collection of Wipeout games. If you go and look at the box art, saw this on IGN, it's pretty cool. They're doing a PlayStation 1 box art for that game. Have you seen this, Brant?
Yeah, you
It
showed
looks
me.
really cool. 'Cause
It does
it's
look
got the PlayStation symbol in the corner, and it's got all that stuff together. So it looks pretty nice.
Yeah.
But PlayStation 1, it's interesting how we're now at the point where when people are looking back at retro, it's PlayStation 1.
We
That
are
makes me feel so old.
Yeah.
The final bit of news I got here, PlayStation related. The creators of Parappa the Rapper and Guitaru Man have announced a new collaboration, Project Rap Rabbit. So if you're a PlayStation fan of those old music games, which I haven't played those games in a long time, they
it's been a
remastered
while.
them. Do they hold up at all?
Nah, probably not. It's like a
Kick.
Parappa the Rapper
Punch.
situation where it's.
Kick.
It,
Kick. Punch.
did you say dick?
No, I didn't, Josh. But thank you.
Parappa grew up.
Well, what else are you gonna
It's
punch
a
a kick,
relic
man?
of its time. It's nice to go back to, but in the songs in Parappa the Rapper are great, but the gameplay is really
Sure.
sort of
It-
it's a
right-
product of its.
Right now we're in a really interesting time. We're getting a lot of remasters of older games and a lot of remakes and like they're bringing Shenmue back. Remember they talked about that? What was that last year or the year before
Oh my
that?
gosh, when
You know,
will we
they
see
talked
that?
like there's all these
Spoiler warning: that game is never getting made.
right, but like they're bringing back Final Fantasy VII. Who knows if that'll ever get made? But it's like right now we're in this age of let's just remaster everything. Let's remake it and just take ideas from the past and make them fresh again. It kind of reminds me how on TV now they announced they're making a new season of Friends, right? They're making X-Files came back. They're making a new season. What are the shows coming back? I just saw
Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks is coming back. Like they're grabbing all these old shows and like let's instead of rebooting them, let's just bring the old
Full
cast back and
House.
just Full House. It's really strange. We're in a very.
Fuller House, guys. Come on, jerks.
I have not watched an episode of that show, and I'm proud.
And don't do that.
What's wrong with that? I've watched it. It's amazing.
My wife was watching
It's
one
like
day,
all
I'm
of our
nope.
first crushes, and they're babes now. Like, what the hell's wrong with that?
That's true. This is true. This is true. The man
Oh
speaks.
man, Brant and his love of John Stamos just never dies.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
Dude, that
No,
guy's
sir.
an ageist wonder, man.
Oh man, did any of you guys watch Scream Queens? That
Nope.
Fox horror show?
No.
Because John Stamos
So
was
wait
in
a
it,
second. So
and he
so
looks
you're
exactly the same.
so you're dissing us for watching Fuller
Yes,
House.
exactly.
But you watching a show called Scream Queens.
It's a horror show,
You know what? I'm taking over hosting duties, Josh. You shut your mouth.
right? Right.
So anyway, so the next news story that we have is Sony PlayStation is still outselling everything else 4-1, and so to celebrate, Sony itself is going to get a tattoo of PlayStation
On your
4
butt.
on your butt, on everyone's butt. You're going to wake up the day after E3. Somebody's going to sneak into your house and tattoo PlayStation 4 on your butt cheeks. It's going to be amazing.
PlayStation is going to be celebrating its partnership
Exclusive.
with Disney by getting a Lady and the Tramp stamp.
That's it, James. You're off. Just go ahead
my
and turn off the
gosh.
screen. You're gone.
I don't know what's happening right now, but
Voted off, bro. You ever seen Survivor? You were just
Right.
voted off.
you guys.
Tribe has spoken.
Jeff comes and snuffs out your mic.
That's great.
There's one thing I got to say though, before I go, and that is
Hit
hit it, Brant.
Oh no. Gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. Pokemon.
Why would you do that on our PlayStation
Because
show?
I just looked anywhere and I saw
it is, baby.
Pokemon. And
That's right. Because no matter what
Oh.
happens, there will never be better software than
on
Nintendo
our
software.
Sony PlayStation show, I just did a Nintendo.
You're welcome.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. That
Thank
that
you,
is that is the
Chris.
kind of power that I bring to this show.
It is magical.
My
You're all
goodness.
welcome. You're all welcome.
Should we ask him to do another one, or should we
You're
just
welcome.
move on from there?
Just go
roll
with it.
No, that was great.
I almost thought he was going to do Parappa the Rapper at this point, but hey, I'll go
Yo,
with the Pokemon.
What's up,
thing.
the bear? Take it out to the place in the back.
It's always about Brant going around to the back. I don't know what is happening.
Because that's how he gets his two thumbs. He can't do it from the front.
Okay.
Oh,
I swear I didn't have anything tonight.
E3 is right around the corner. Or what? I think, 4 weeks away? 5 weeks away?
Something,
It's
sure.
very, very close.
Very close.
And PlayStation is normally first. No, wait, they're second?
No, they're
normally
last.
Last.
If they're
No,
not first, they're
Nintendo's
last.
Nintendo's
Yeah,
last.
that's
true.
true.
But
they
things,
don't
things are
count.
shifting around. It's weird this year because Xbox moved to Sunday, and then Monday we're only having third parties in Sony. So,
Yeah.
but
So Sony's basically staying where they are. They always do Monday night
right,
to close out the day.
it's like 9 or
always
10
bring the
o'clock
house.
Eastern. I know. Now, Brant, are you gonna do that movie theater thing again this year?
I'm hoping, yeah. Once I hear tickets are up, I'm gonna try because they go fast.
Oh, that's a really good idea.
Brant,
It was awesome.
yeah, I was say
though.
Brant loved it last year.
A bunch of us nerds just cheering at these huge announcements. Oh, it was great. When Hideo Kojima just
Yes.
walked out, I was standing up.
Oh
just
my
like,
gosh! I swear. Oh.
Every
We'll
time
never
you
see
should've
this
seen the
game.
plan.
Hooray!
Whoa! I can't wait to play this in 8 years. Oh wait, here's another game in 7 years.
Yes,
Here's
yes.
another game that will come out the year after I'm dead.
Oh
This
my
is
gosh.
awesome.
I was gonna go
Oh
there.
my
There,
gosh.
Kojima
Okay.
making games in his grave.
Oh,
That-
which
that is
about
one
the way
crazy
he makes the
prediction.
Games now.
But for our topic of the week this week, we're going to make our predictions for the Sony conference. But to kick things off, I'm going to let Sean as our guest,
I'm so
Kick us
excited.
off.
I'm so excited for this.
and then Chris will just mute him for the rest of the show.
I love it.
So,
It's a great idea.
what do you got, Sean?
I think okay. So are you guys keeping score? Like, are we gonna revisit? Or is anybody logging this?
We
Like,
need to.
We
we
should.
can.
I think
We never have.
We're
That's the
doing
problem.
it. We're doing it. We're starting it this year. Let's do it.
because I want to know like how serious.
Sure.
Or how serious are we being?
100%.
And, okay,
110% serious.
I'm gonna get my most serious.
I am so serious right now.
Yeah,
if
me
I
too.
don't win, I'm gonna shave my head on the show after
you go.
E3.
Me too. I'm exactly as serious as Chris. So I'm gonna put my best foot forward with my
Okay.
first prediction. This
Go
is
for
just
it.
muscle memory at this point, you guys. We've been predicting this for years. Hopefully, Sony will finally give us a date for The Last Guardian. For God's sakes, please just release The Last Guardian. For God's sakes.
Oh,
It's time.
Yeah, I think it is time. It's been a really long. Like it's kind of getting silly now,
Right,
guys. Okay, no, but really, my first prediction. I don't even know if this is something that Sony would announce on stage. Like, I'm not really sure if they would get an applause for this, but I have to put it out into the atmosphere that they will allow us to change our bloody PlayStation
Oh
network
my
names.
god.
Ba-ba-bum.
That would be
every
like the
year.
backwards compatible announcement. a
But
few
it's so
years ago.
stupid
Like
because
everybody
you
would
can-
lose their mind. If
I
they
know,
announced that.
but everybody at Xbox would be like, guys,
Hey,
everybody would
No.
high fiving each other. Yes. People would be crying. They'd be like, "Oh, thank you."
people are trading names.
not Origin
So bad.
Killer 69 anymore.
Mine is not far off from that. So yes, I would. I have interest in this. I would really like to change my PlayStation name. I think it would get a reaction, but wrongly so. I think like people get overly excited, but like it's feed them finally catching what Xbox has been doing since the beginning. But it nonetheless, fans have been asking for this. I have been asking for it. So please, Shuhei, let us change our names.
That's
Especially yours.
But look, I will say, I mean, Sony is known to be a crowd pleasing, company, and most PlayStation fans are ignorant and short sighted, so they won't be. They won't be taken aback by the fact that they've been wronged all these years.
Totally.
They'll just feel like it's the greatest thing that's ever happened, and that room, like that would be a great
This is the best
announcement.
They just open with it. They can just open with it.
You'll
They
see
just
people
open with
crying in the
I
crowd.
know you're
People
here to
just
see
crying.
games, but
Or
we
they
have
end
an
with it.
announcement.
Brant,
Give
I
us,
can,
like,
I
a
can
little
picture.
peek at The Last of Us, and then go just one more thing, guys.
Right.
We have one more announcement.
I can see Brant
Oh, that
in
would
that
be
movie
so
theater,
awesome.
right? He'll stand up, go, whoa, he'll just rip his shirt open, just
the chest hair just.
whoa.
You know what would actually be cool though. I mean, let's put our marketing hats on. What if like Shuhei came out on stage? Because everybody always says Shuhei, let us do it, like it's his call. But let's say Shuhei comes out and he pulls out his mobile phone and he's like, "Oh, real quick," and on the screen you see him change his name
Oh,
from
that would
Shuhei
be
Yoshida
awesome.
to your daddy, and then he's just like, "Change," and then he's like,
69,
"Now you
69.
can," and then he just drops the mic, boom, and then done. That'd be amazing.
This is
That'd be
the
amazing.
bet. I will take off my shirt in that
Oh my
theater if
gosh.
this happens. There, I would just take it right off.
Well, Brant,
Not rip it though. I don't want to rip my shirt.
I'm so glad you clarified.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
Just
you
to
almost
let
killed
know.
Chris, man.
You don't have to
But
buy a new shirt.
Brant, what do you got? Number one prediction.
Okay, I have to go with a pretty obvious one,
Okay.
which seems obvious, which I'm praying, but we've been talking about Bloodborne. I think it's time to announce Bloodborne 2, and it's going to be the big reveal this time around, and that it will come out early next year.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Okay.
They'll close with the trailer, and it'll come out next year.
I totally agree.
Cool. I guess I'll go next. We'll leave Chris for last because I don't think he has any good predictions. We'll see. But
That's so hurtful, man.
Probably
I'm
has
a
the best
contributing
predictions
member
on
of this group.
the funny thing is, he'll probably get all the points. All his will be like right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start off with something easy and simple, just because some of mine are already getting checked off my list. I'm gonna say they're gonna show another trailer for God of War. We're gonna get the official name on it because it's still just called God of War right now, right? I don't think they have a title on it. We're gonna get a title for God of War, and I think they're going to announce the release date, and it will be Q1 of next year.
Q1.
That's a good
There
call.
has to be a lot of games in that
Boom.
Q1.
I wonder, like, that seems to be a holiday game, but I feel like it'll be
know.
announced for holiday, but then get delayed. Like, that's going to be
Sure.
part of, like, pretty much any
I
prediction
see
I'll
that
make.
like a summer. If it'll say this year will be summer.
But
But
in the
who
game,
knows?
it's like
No,
wintry in the game, right? Wasn't it like snowy and cold?
Norse
So it fits the
mythology.
winter.
I can see like a
Right.
January release.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be cool. Yeah.
I take it back. I think May next year.
Oh, okay.
I
There we
think
go.
it's like Uncharted was like May or April
Big
or
release
April or
in
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't mind that spot.
But it seems like games between January and March are actually doing pretty well right now. Like,
Yep.
Resident Evil did great. Games that it used to be a dead zone, but now they're doing pretty good.
Now it's a life zone.
Because right. Chris, what do you got, man?
So I think
He didn't write anything down.
I was just gonna go off the top. Yeah.
to be fair, I wrote down like 6, and I had to stop because they were all really awful.
The way you were looking around the room, you're like, let's see, there's a
This lamp.
or a desk or
I
Pixar is going to announce.
I thought about actually doing the funny ones. I was gonna say that Hideo Kojima was going to come out and actually show us the physical retail version of Death Stranding, which is just a turd.
He just opens the box and it's just.
It just opens the box and here's a giant turd.
If you pre-order, it comes with toilet paper.
The sad part is every idiot in that watching that thing would go pre-order it because they're morons. But if we're being
Brand's like,
serious,
take my money.
I think that Sony has one more year to make VR work.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think they will announce a brand new camera and new controllers. I think that the Move controller was a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that they're going to double down. They're going to try to put one more year behind VR to see it work, and I think that they're going to announce brand new like touch-based controllers, similar to what what Vive has, and then of course along with that will have to be some sort of showcase software for why you need it, and it will be out in the fall.
You took another one of my predictions, man. I'm just
VR
marking 'em up.
2.0,
Yeah.
if you will.
Cool.
So
I'm surprised to have seen PSVR fall off so drastically.
Right.
You don't
It's
see
sold
anybody
great.
talking about
It's
it.
sold really well. At
The
least for
game,
VR.
the game comes out next week. Farpoint. That's from what I hear. It's going.
Yeah,
it's
that one's gonna blow
huge-
things
the
out of
next
water.
huge. Well, it's
Everybody's
supposed to
talking
be.
about
Early
Everybody's talking
reviews
about
say this is
Farpoint.
like the game that Resident Evil 7 is like the masterclass game right now, but Farpoint's going to be the boom.
Yeah.
game.
well, I'll
Here
tell you, I
comes
was
the boom
I was at
ready or
Target.
not.
Here comes the
I was,
boys from
I was checking out at Target today, and a guy saw my shirt. He's like, "Oh, you like Pokemon? What do you think about that Farpoint game? It looks pretty sweet." And I'm like, "I don't know what you're talking about."
Are you serious?
No, I'm completely not serious. Nobody knows what that game is.
Here's Josh's head. Here's the joke going over.
That was a Drax moment for.
Yeah, that was definitely. This is
Sorry.
supposed to be. We cut.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
All right.
We're gonna snake back around. So Chris,
Oh, it's a
Number two,
snake
man.
draft.
I think that Platinum will be on stage and they will announce an exclusive game just for the PlayStation 4 that will be out. They will say it's going to be out next year. It will not be out next year, but they will say that it will. I think there's
it's gonna
some
be
bad.
scale bound.
Yeah, well, listen, I'm not even. I would not be surprised
Nier
with something
Automata did
similar.
so
Is
well.
that the? I'm trying to figure out where this is coming from. Is that why? Is it out of the Xbox?
Well, scale
sort
bound
of
was supposed to be
break-
Xbox exclusive, and then
Right,
Xbox
so I'm wondering where
decided to
Chris,
cancel
like,
it.
why Platinum, why PlayStation?
Okay,
I don't understand
Nier
what's
Automata
going on.
did so well with it.
So I'll tell you. I think there's a little bit of bad blood between
Yeah.
Platinum and Microsoft, and there's nothing that Sony likes more than to step
it.
all over. Yeah, they probably like profits more. So there's only a couple things they like more than stepping all over Microsoft when they have the chance. And so I just feel like, you know, Platinum had Vanquish, which was a really good game. It
Fantastic.
did well on
Ooh.
PlayStation 3. And then they did, you know,
Exclusive.
Bayonetta, which was a Nintendo exclusive. And so,
I
well,
was
it
gonna
was.
say, if they like
Bayonetta
profits, they should stay the hell away from Platinum.
Bayonetta 2. Well, yeah, but here's the thing. Platinum, if you get Bayonetta Platinum, if you get Vanquish Platinum, you have a rabid fan base that likes
Yeah.
those games. And so, but again, this goes back to from my perspective, Sony is a crowd pleasing show. Like they will show you whatever. They'll never give you dates. They'll never give you concrete details. Most of the stuff that they'll show you is just fairy dust and turds. But they will do whatever they can to get you hyped up. They're a hype company, and so I feel
Hype.
like if I mean this just goes back to last year, right? Last year they showed Shinmu 3,
Oh yeah.
right? Which
Was that
nobody
last year?
No,
or
that was
last?
ridiculous.
or
That
whenever
was
it
2
was.
years ago.
Yeah.
Whenever it was, but right, Shinmu is another, like, it's the same sort of announcement where when you say Shinmu, you have a very loud minority of people that absolutely want that
Cry.
game. And
Yeah.
when Sony says that we're going to make it happen exclusively on our system, people lose their mind. Now, I still don't think Shenmue 3 is ever going to come out, but that was a huge announcement that got the hype and the buzz up for the PlayStation brand. I think if they roll Platinum out after Platinum had a really cool game, what looked like a really cool game in Scalebound, and then
Didn't
you
look that
have,
good.
well, okay, I agree.
Yeah,
I wasn't interested.
I thought
but
it looked good. I was excited.
there was
for
some there was some hype. There was definitely some hype for it, and there was some hype because this was Platinum's A team that was working on it,
Right.
and it was the first time they were doing something original in a while. And so you had them come. You had them come out. So I think that the people that were really looking forward to that game, you know,
We're desperate Xbox fans saying, "Hey, we've got an exclusive."
No, see,
I'm sorry, and I am a huge
That's
Xbox
fine.
fan. I got my controller right here, and I'm sorry, guys, that is not something you get that pumped about.
No, see, I think you're short.
It's a good cut.
Do
Getting rid
you
of that game.
do you like Bayonetta?
I'm okay. Like I'm not. I don't think you could name a Platinum game where I'm like, yes, I'm gonna rip off my
Okay,
shirt
sure.
brand style for that. thing.
Okay, so
No,
then-
he doesn't. He doesn't
games.
rip it.
Okay,
He takes it
so
off. He
so
doesn't
the, yeah,
rip it.
he does not rip it. He takes
Yeah.
it off and
Like a
he
jumbo.
takes it off
and he folds.
No,
it.
the
and he
hair
folds it and he sets it down
like,
and then he
Yeah.
has to brush his chest hair so that it's all down.
especially around my nipples.
And then,
Oh
and
my
then, and then
gosh,
he
what
has
is
to
happening?
he has to stimulate a little bit.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, it just takes time. But no, look,
Platinum
but,
is
so
fine for me, but it's nothing
sure.
to get like totally crazy about. But you're right, this fan base would get insane about.
they would freak out.
Oh
Yeah,
my
so-
god, Xbox messed it up, and PlayStation's gonna make it
Exactly.
right, and that's why I love PlayStation.
That's the narrative. The narrative is that Microsoft let them go, Sony swooped in, and Sony's going to let them deliver an exclusive, amazing game,
That's
and
compelling
fans will be
stuff,
through
man.
the roof.
Kind of like what
Yep.
Nintendo did with Bayonetta 2.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. So
Because
there you go.
the problem with Platinum games, it's like you were talking about, Chris. I absolutely love the Bayonetta games. Love Vanquish. Fantastic games. The problem with Platinum, every time I'm expecting a Bayonetta or a Vanquish, you get a Ninja Turtles,
TMNT
right? You get a
or
Ninja
a
Turtles
Korra.
or a Korra. Or now I haven't played Transformers. They said Transformers was pretty good.
Transformers
That's the one
was
game I
okay.
haven't played.
It was okay.
But yeah, Platinum games, I want to love them. That's the problem. But then they made Star Fox Zero, and it's like,
Ouch.
it's rough because they have such good games when they're great. But yeah, okay.
yeah.
My second prediction is kind of a sad one,
Aw,
but
sad time.
if you remember, it's been quite a while. Media Molecule announced Dreams. No one remembers it. No one knows what it is.
No one cares.
It will not be at this year's E3. I think it's going to get canceled. I don't think they're going to mention it anymore. It's just they're going to let it disappear
Oh,
into the
that's
darkness.
right.
Because
They
it was
showed
supposed to be
that
a
at the
motion
launch
game.
event, right?
It was at the launch event. Remember
That's
they had like little
right.
puppets
That's
dancing.
right.
You can make your own stories. I believe that game's going to be canceled. I don't think it's going to
But
be at
that's
E3.
not an E3 announcement.
Well, but I'm just saying that it won't be there.
Yeah.
Okay.
His prediction is that Dreams is a no-show.
Yep, it's gone.
Yeah, I could see that. But I wonder what Media Molecule's working on though, because what have they done since Little Big
That's
Planet?
what they're
That's all they
working on.
have.
That's
Little
what-
Big
Well, I
That's
Planet.
know.
it.
I mean, that's it. So if they canceled that, like it's just done. Oh,
That
Yeah.
studio's in deep trouble.
Yeah.
Just with that game in
Oh,
general.
because I love Little Big. I never played Little Big Planet 3, but 1 and 2 were really good.
yeah.
But,
Well,
okay,
you're
Brant.
Aw.
Brant, you're up.
Hit it, Brant.
Yeah, hit it, bro.
Okay.
Scott. Number two. Number two.
This is sort of a more adventurous one, but
Uh-oh.
you know, Nintendo really.
Keep your shirt on, please.
The
Don't
Legend of Zelda:
don't
Breath
slowly
of the
take your
Wild
shirt off
came
the floor.
out for the Switch, and everybody lost their mind. Best open world game ever. I think Sony's going to double up on this and say, "Well, we have a game that might just up Breath of the Wild." And they'll go into this
Never
large. It'll show the Earth, and they'll just pan
They say
in.
Legend of Zelda.
It'll pan into the Earth in the city. It goes in this huge city, skyscrapers everywhere, and then on this one building, it just slowly goes into Spider-Man, and then it just goes behind him, and then they take control, and they actually have a gameplay demo of it.
So you think it's
And
gonna be
they,
like an open
they show
world
gameplay.
Spider-Man?
I don't think that's adventurous at all. I think that's a safe bet, man. I think it's a. I think
I'm
with
not
you.
sure.
I think that's gonna happen.
I think they've got to show it. Now, here's the question: when do you think it comes out, Josh?
I think
2020.
it could come out as crazy as this sounds. I mean, it could come out this year. At the end of this year, this could be the big.
Think they
holiday.
want to get it with the movie? You'd think they would. If they
Yeah.
were smart.
Which is next month.
Right, but they
the same
want
year,
to
I mean,
tie
you
it
know,
in
right.
at least close vicinity. So
Yeah. Like,
yeah,
hey,
they'll
remember that
show
great movie you saw in
gameplay,
theaters? It's now on Blu-ray, and the game's out. Like, it
and
just
you
was-
say you can go anywhere. This is going to be like the next evolution of open
Open
world
world.
gaming, superhero games. So
Yeah, I'm actually incredibly pissed off about Spider-Man, so I don't really want to talk about it much. I will say that
Nobody asked you.
I'm just letting you know. I'm
Oh
just
my
letting
gosh.
you know. The fact that a game like Spider-Man is exclusive to a platform just really infuriates me.
yeah,
So
it's crazy.
So I think that there will be. I think that not only could it happen, I think it would be a super cool announcement to announce it at E3 with a date of 2 or 3 weeks later, whenever the movie drops. That would be awesome. It would be huge. I do not think that game's coming out this year at all.
I agree with you.
But
I don't think so either. But
It's
I
funny
mean,
how this happens though, where we start to like. I think there's been a little bit of rumblings that some rumor of or another rumor said that it is ready and that it is coming out this year, and everybody's really getting their hopes up. This is
Yeah.
just going to be another example. I think that we're going to get disappointed by it,
yeah, I agree with that.
just like Super Mario Sunshine remastered.
Right. They've been saying that forever. That was supposed to be
Yeah.
on Wii U, right?
Yeah, remember the leaked. Anyway, that's a different.
Right.
Yeah,
show.
there was gonna launch with the Switch. Oh, that would have been awesome.
Sean, what do you got, man?
Guys, I don't know if you, well, Chris, you don't like PlayStation, so maybe you don't even know what this game is. But once upon a time, I played a game called Legacy of Kain: Soul Reaver.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I know
And
this.
I love that game. And I played it on PC, and I learned much later in life that more people played it on PlayStation, that it really is like identified as a PlayStation game. So my prediction is that
oh, that'd be cool.
there's going to be a new Legacy of Kain game. I'm not sure if I want to necessarily say it's going to be a remaster of the old game or if there's going to be a reboot of the series. Probably more likely a reboot.
Yeah.
But Legacy of Kain, I think, would kind of satisfy a couple of folks. It would satisfy this folk right here.
That's the only folk
Good
that
one.
matters.
That's
Yeah,
true.
It's kind of my. This is my actually my other my two other or my one remaining is also out of nowhere. I don't know where this is coming from. I just think it would be cool.
Okay.
That'd be good. I think it was on N64, wasn't it? Didn't they have it? I'm pretty sure
That's a
Legend.
good question.
Was it game?
Maybe not that game. There might have been a different one. I know that the Soul Reaver game
Reaver?
that I played, I don't think it was on.
Okay.
It was a pretty dark game. Like it
Yeah.
was really kind of heavy. It dealt
Yeah.
with like the underworld. And, like there was this. It was a really cool game. It pushed my graphics card really hard on the PC.
Cool.
Yeah.
All 12 megabytes
That's
and like
right.
3D.
It was on the
graphics card.
Dreamcast.
There you go.
Yeah, later
Was
it
it-
came to the Dreamcast.
Maybe,
Love my
that.
Dreamcast.
Okay, maybe that's
What are we
where
doing
I
our
played,
Sega prediction
so.
show?
Right.
So-
Yeah.
Oh man, that dude! And it was the original game was developed by Silicon Knights, and then Crystal Dynamics
Yeah,
developed a
Eidos.
follow up.
Oh wow.
Oh man, so yeah, that's
be
actually
cool.
really good. Yeah,
Cool.
dude. I would,
And
I
that's
would
the type
play
of
this
thing they could announce and say like coming sometime, and
Yeah.
they don't have to put a
Like
date. They're
Shinra,
just
right?
saying that they're working on it. Totally.
It's
Yeah.
happening. It's in the cloud,
Yep.
guys. It's in the cloud.
Yep.
Sean, what do you got for your third and
Oh,
final
right.
prediction?
The snake. I forgot about this. My last one. I try to think of like Star Wars is sort of big. I don't know if you guys have heard of
may
this
have heard
thing.
of it.
a little
Yeah,
bit.
the Wars and the Stars.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
again, I want
Battles and
want
Fields.
games from the past to come and make a like Battlefront has found success. Obviously, a second one coming out there. A lot of people want that. It sold very, very well. I'm trying to think of what other titles Star Wars can bring back and maybe land on PlayStation. Seems to have a home on PlayStation. And again, from my past, X-Wing or TIE Fighter. If that series came back and again rebooted or remastered or some sort of reimagination of the X-Wing TIE Fighter series, I think would be so cool. I don't know if I even want to go as far to predict it, but that could really lock in what's going
That's
on
cool.
over
Now-
at VR.
Okay, cool.
Like if you're sitting in a cockpit and you're flying around like that would like that's how I remember playing it on computer. Like
Sure.
it felt like I was in VR.
Yeah.
Even though it was the crappiest graphics. I didn't even have the CD-ROM version, so like my graphics were worse than everybody else's.
Yeah.
But I love those games. I think that that those could come back in a big way.
Yeah.
Play it
I
with all of
I
them.
I love the Star Wars flight sim. You know, me and Josh talked about this on the Star Wars show. But yeah, like we're both a huge fans of both the TIE Fighter and X-Wing series and the Rogue Squadron series. To see something like that on any platform would be cool. I'm super excited about Battlefront 2 because the Criterion, the Burnout team, is actually working on all of the dogfight mechanics.
So good.
For
Yeah.
Battlefront 2, so that should be really good. But yeah, I would like a standalone flight based game. I joked around whenever the flight the VR came out, like that was the first time I ever actually considered jumping into the PlayStation ecosystem to get a PlayStation VR just to fly an X-Wing fighter. If you gave me a full-fledged game in VR of piloting,
You would never take the headset off, and there'd be puke all
like-
over the place.
Right?
I'm not even kidding. I would probably jump on board at that point. So
I know a lot of people think when they think VR, they think first person shooter and stuff like that. But for me, the selling is anytime you're in a car or a cockpit or something like that. Yeah, that would be so great.
Cool.
Yep. I like it.
Brant, final prediction.
Final
Hit us
prediction.
with
We haven't heard anything from Sucker Punch in a while.
Oh,
Famous for the Infamous series,
so
but I
platinumed
believe.
all those games. So good.
Oh yeah. But they're going to announce a new game. We have to hear something from the studio, and it will come out next holiday.
Ooh.
So not for a
it'll be
while, but it'll
announced to come
weather
out next
appetite.
holiday. What do you think it'll be?
I don't know. I'm still thinking open world, but maybe the same, sort of in the same vein of Infamous, but maybe more down to earth. I don't know. Really, it's hard to tell. Really,
Yeah.
I hope it's not zombie related though. We have enough of those
Right.
based on
Hey,
we're
they
done
even
with
had a
zombies.
zombie Infamous. Well, not really zombie. It was was it called Festival of Blood?
Festival of
Festival of
Blood.
Yeah, it was
yeah.
kind of like a zombie Infamous.
Which
it was
that was really
vampires.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool. I'd actually like to see them do something really different just to get out of the. I mean, they do the superhero genre well. I mean, all of the Infamous games have been well received, but I think it would be good for them to kind of get away from that, maybe in some capacity. I'll tell you, of all the games that Sony's exclusive games that Sony's have put out the last few years. Like I really liked what they did with Horizon, as far as it was very different from pretty much anything else. I mean,
Killzone.
you could kind of call it sci-fi, but you could also kind of call it fantasy. And so it had like this really distinct aesthetic and kind of visual representation and world building that isn't really tapped into. Like I'd like to see Sucker Punch do something like that, just like throw a curveball, something that we're not really expecting. Maybe change it up. Could be kind of cool
too.
Cool.
But
yeah.
Yeah,
So it's a good team. I mean, they've been quiet for a while. Infamous Second Son was like a second year game on PlayStation 4, right?
I think it was first year, wasn't
It
it?
was the first
year?
year.
Yeah,
They
so,
came out pretty early.
so
Yeah.
they've been quiet for 4 to 5
First
years. So
Light came out
time.
a year later
Yeah.
as a standalone.
Yeah,
was
so
just-
it's time for something.
Sucker Punch makes great games. So
Yeah.
whatever they make is probably gonna be pretty awesome. My final prediction, we've been talking a lot about older games coming back, and Chris, you mentioned earlier, Sony's all about getting the fans excited, right, and making the fans remember their past and just get them really pumped up. We already got Crash Bandicoot coming back, right? We got Parappa the Rapper coming back. So I think what they're gonna do, they're gonna bring back another old classic. I think they're going to reboot Spyro the Dragon. Because Spyro was another, like, it came out the same time as, like, roughly around the same time as Crash. And when you talk to people about PlayStation 1, they always bring up two games, Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon. And I know during the GameCube era, they had some Spyros, because I remember it was, like, voiced by Elijah Wood and all this weird stuff. But they just weren't that strong, and they kind of fell off, right? But if they do the same exclusive thing, even if it's just a year exclusive like they do with Crash Bandicoot, bring back Spyro the Dragon, they probably won't get as big of a cheer as Crash, but I think it's going to make a lot of fans very happy. Because 3D platformers are coming back. Because like with Yooka-Laylee and all this other stuff, I mean, it's kind of building up again.
Do you think they'll do like the Insane trilogy for Crash,
Maybe.
like remaster the whole
that's
collection?
actually a really good idea. At least the first 3 games, yeah. That'd be
Test
really
the
good idea.
waters.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, so I guess the issue here is that Skylanders is such a huge moneymaker,
Sure.
for both Activision, for Activision obviously, but so I don't see them really making a new Spyro.
But
game.
Spyro's no longer real. I mean, his name's not attached to Skylanders anymore. It's just Skylanders, right? It's its
Sure,
own
but-
brand. And honestly,
Sure.
I think if you went and talked to kids about Skylanders, even ones that are really into Skylanders, and say, "Who is Spyro?" they probably wouldn't know.
That's probably
Right,
true,
so-
but I don't think Activision is in that business, so I don't know. So I'm just saying I don't think that we'll get a new one, but a remaster definitely. I think that could be kind of cool, and I really like some of the Spyro games.
Cool.
I would
Okay.
fall asleep during that segment.
Yeah.
Don't worry,
I'm sorry, I don't mean to-
One or two that
Well,
put you to
see,
sleep.
last time he came out, right, and he was walking, and he had the Crash Bandicoot footprints on the ground. This time he'll come out, and it looks like he's breathing fire, and fire will just, like, shoot out of his mouth.
Actually, it comes out and burns the front.
But, okay.
This could be the undoing of PlayStation's greatness. All this, like all of this crap. They're just bringing back the worst part of the night. Like, get out of here. The nostalgia has got to stop.
It's
gotta
been
stop
it's
somewhere.
been very high. But
like
It's-
medieval or
These are not
something.
great games that we're bringing back, guys. These are just not. They're just not. Spyro is insanely boring. It's
Oh.
a bad game. It's not good. That needs a lot of work, more than an HD remake. So
Sure.
I hope
Heard it
to
here-
God,
heard it here first.
more than
Right.
just to win this prediction contest. I hope you're wrong for so many reasons. Spyro's.
well,
Something Chris disagrees with.
to end this show on a positive note,
Aw.
we'll get the final prediction from Chris, which I'm assuming is going to be totally positive.
Yeah.
As with all my predictions,
disappoint me.
that's going to be the most positive of all.
A new
My
From
fi-
Software game.
My final prediction is that the PlayStation Vita is dead. I do not think that it will make an appearance in any form or fashion
Of course
this
he
year.
will.
I don't think it will
as he
be in
comes out
any
with
of
the
the
Vita.
graphics. I don't think it will be in any of the trailer clips. I don't think it will be mentioned by anybody at all on stage. And I think that will be basically Sony's unofficial announcement that the Vita.
You
is
should have said the big announcement would be another portable Vita 2.
No, because that's never going to
Electric Boogaloo.
happen.
Not gonna happen.
That's never going to happen.
Chris, I have a question for you.
Uh-oh.
So during the press conference, there will inevitably be a game demo that just doesn't work. It freezes, something goes wrong. Do you think that moment of silence will be a dedication to the Vita?
Like maybe, whatever
There you
just-
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just they just pan to somebody. They pan to somebody in the. What is the matter with you, Josh?
I didn't say hit it,
They just-
Brad. I don't know what's happening.
They just pan to somebody in the audience, and they're just like. And we'll all know if you're listening, folks. I just poured one out for the PlayStation Vita. So I just
I love my Vita, man.
everybody wants the Vita to.
That guy in Return of the Jedi. When
Who?
the
Jet
in
Watkins?
Jedi
Jet
with
Watkins?
the fat guy, the topless fat guy, who cries when the monster dies.
Oh,
yeah.
that guy.
Oh my gosh.
So,
That's
no,
what we'll all look like.
I just think everybody's kind of waiting for this next big announcement for the Vita, and it's not coming. They started dropping them off of a lot of the promotional stuff, and I just think that it's time for them just to kind of put it out to pasture, and they'll never come out and say it, but I think it will be the unspoken thing that's said this year, because I don't think it will make an appearance or a mention at all.
Sure. Okay, guys. To kind of wrap things up, run a little on the longer side, but I want to ask you guys just a quick fire question to all of you. We'll kind of go around here. What does Sony have to do to win E3 this year? Because they're going to be going up against the Switch. They're going to be going up, against Project Scorpio. What does Sony have to do to win? Because I feel like, they're way out in the front. So what are they going to do to keep that momentum going? So, Sean...
Wait a second. Before we
Yeah.
do it, can you explain what you mean by winning? Do you mean perception of the internet? Do you mean like quality of presentation?
Sure.
Like what do you consider winning?
Honestly, kind of like what you said, Chris, the perception of the internet. Because after E3, people always vote in all these different magazines and all these different polls, but I guess overall it also has to do with presentation. Because you can't have a terrible presentation and say, you won E3.
It was immaculate last
right,
year.
right,
So.
right. Sure.
It
But okay,
was. That
Sean.
Oh God, Josh, you are the sheep that I'm talking about, man.
It was epic.
And
Xbox
it
was
was-
a slick studio,
I'm telling
stage,
you.
and
If Hideo Kojima comes on screen and says that I want
Oh my
all of
gosh.
my followers to shave their whole entire bodies, the next show that we have, Josh would just be a floating white bulb. That's
I'd
it.
shave my eyebrows.
Because this idiot would do it.
Oh
That's
my
just the problem.
gosh.
Oh gosh.
Like I said, Sean,
I don't
what do you
know,
think?
Dave. Just to put the record straight, okay?
What does Sony have to do in your mind?
What it's I'm glad Chris mentioned it, because that's kind of what I was thinking as well.
Sure.
Like, it seems like they'll do anything and people will be like, they won, automatic, it doesn't matter what anybody else says.
Sure.
And I always disagree with that. But really, I think there's a couple things that they need to do. They need to stay away from TV. They need to really just not talk about PlayStation View or whatever the heck it's called
Oh,
or
yeah.
now. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
that's great.
Which is fine. This isn't the place for it. To me, like, this is it. Kind of like it always pulls the presentation down. They cannot have a PlayStation VR fail, and they just got to focus on games. I think
Sure.
that they just need to keep the hype machine going. I don't know that there's anything specific. I can't really think of like any franchise that we're waiting for them to go, this is here, you're gonna get it. Like, it seems like they've really delivered on that in the past, and that anything will just be an update on all the games that they said are coming within the next 7 to 10 years.
Sure.
So I don't know if I guess that's a one way of saying, James, like, I don't know if they can. Like,
Okay.
I really think that their backs are up against the wall on this one, that there's not a whole lot that, as a PlayStation fan, that I'm really looking forward to. I don't think that they can do a whole lot to win me over. I think Nintendo and Xbox are going to have excellent shows this year. So we'll see. But I think it's going to be a tough year for them.
Sure. All negative comments can be sent to @Sean Capri on Twitter.
Oh, don't
just
worry.
kidding.
I haven't went yet.
I was gonna
I feel safe. I feel
okay.
safe with
Don't
Chris
worry.
coming
Whenever-
in.
He's gonna feel like Saint Peter by the
right.
time
I'll
I'm
say
done.
whatever you
People
say.
aren't
Don't
gonna
worry.
finish
Chris.
their tweets to me, but like by the time Chris
Oh,
gets
Chris.
there, they're like, oh, delete.
let's go. No backspace and erase their tweet.
Neo Lego.
Oh my gosh, Brant, Mr. PlayStation himself. Outside of just them being there, what does Sony have to do?
Okay, guys. Well, it comes down to the games. It always has, always will. And like you said, they announce things but don't have release date. It's just to get people fired up. People like me, like the Final Fantasy VII thing. Like James, I remember that day vividly when I was laughing in your face.
He
saying,
was.
Yes,
He's
in
going,
your
"And you-
face."
we won. Like seriously, he was literally next to me on the couch,
Oh.
pointing in my face, laughing, going, "You lost." I'm like,
Uh,
man.
See, for the sheep like me, like that, it's pretty much just now you have some killer new announcements, and then go through with what we think we already know with Spider-Man and things like that. And like you guys said, it's going to be hard because the Scorpio and then the Switch just came out, and those are going to be huge in their own right, which Microsoft can easily lose if they spend too much time just talking about specs on a Scorpio, which I don't think they will, but we'll get to that
Yeah,
podcast
another time.
But just hammer the game. I mean, they've been done great the last 2 years, barely any letdowns. So just stay with the format.
Keep it going.
That's what I was gonna say. The format they've
Yeah.
landed on is there,
It's
so they
working,
can always lean
right.
on that. Yeah, totally.
And honestly, there's not much else to add. I don't think. Pretty much, I agree with both of you. It's going to be about the games. Stay away from the gimmicks. Focus on the games. Because normally, what Sony does at this time in the lifespan of the console, they're like, "We've sold so many consoles. We need to focus on the casual gamer." They'll bring out Wonder Book. They'll bring out I know I always bring up Wonder Book, but that's just the one thing that sticks in my mind. They're gonna bring up casual stuff. It's like, don't do that. The reason you're doing so well right now, you focus on the gamer. Just keep doing that. Focus on the games. Don't focus on the gimmicks, and I think they're gonna have another strong year. But okay, Chris, tie it off real quick. What you got?
So I actually
And the hate
think,
rains down. I'm just kidding.
no, I actually think Sony probably has. I agree with Sean's initial thought that Sony's back's against the wall, but it almost eases that stress of them to have to come out because PlayStation VR is out, PlayStation Pro's out, so that's out of the way. So they're not going to have the same hype level because they're not pushing new hardware like Microsoft and like Nintendo's going to do. But that almost means that they can focus entirely on games, and it's exactly what you guys have said. Last year at E3, Nintendo came to the show with one game, and we left E3 talking about that one game more than just about anything else. And now, having all played that game for 40, 50 hours or more, we can all agree that game has revolutionized video games and changed what we look for in open world experiences. If Sony can present a handful of games, and I would say that it's going to take a while for anybody to reach the same level of Breath of the Wild. But if they can present a handful of games to that high of a level and spend time showing us why those games matter, like, I think that's what people need to walk away from, because at the end of the day, a box is a box.
Sure.
And so without having something that motivates you or captivates you, it's really completely useless to have. And I can say just from last year, when they came out and they showed the God of War demo off, I have never liked the God of War series. Never interested me at all. And I absolutely loved that demo. And for the first time ever, I was like, I kind of want to play God of War. And in 5 or 6 years, when that game's out, like I may try to play it at some point. But
in 8K on the PS6.
That's right.
yeah, exactly. So I would echo everything you guys said. It all comes down to games. If they come out and they show quality, fantastic games that are realistic, these games are going to be out within the next 12 to 18 months. Like, that's what they need to do to get the buzz there. There needs to be the shot of nostalgia. So whether that's, you know, a game like Spyro, or they talk about Shenmue again, or whatever it is, they need to have that spike, but they need to show quality games that you can only play on PlayStation. They can't come out with Days Gone again, because that presentation last year with Days Gone was a complete wash.
Sure.
It just wasn't good. They have to have captivating. They need to show Detroit.
Could
And
be
they need to
Sucker
sh-
Punch.
They-
Sucker Punch
yeah.
game. Josh, you could be onto something there, man. That could
Right,
be
Sucker
there because
Punch.
everybody remembers The Last of Us when they revealed that, and it's like, what is this game? I need to play this.
Right.
They need something. That's what they need
Yep.
to do
They
to
need
win.
high
Is they
calorie.
need something
Yep.
out of nowhere that we've never seen before. That is amazing, and
Sure.
to me, it has to be more than just it's an old game but reimagined. Like God of War is great, cool, but it's got to be something. To me, it's got to be something totally original.
Sure.
No,
Yeah,
I agree.
groundbreaking.
And then real quick, just the last thing that I'll say is Sony's always had, or they have for a while now, always had the privilege of going last.
Yeah.
So you get to
Oh,
see what
yeah.
your competition has. Now we'll talk about this when we get on the Xbox content, and we've talked about this before on the show, but I think that if the Scorpio launches for more than $399.99, it's instantly a failure. It's DOA. So
Sure.
but if they come out and they say that it's, you know, for $49.99, and that gives Sony time to kind of adjust, and if they can come out and announce that now you're
Pro.
looking at $349.99 for the PlayStation Pro, $100 cheaper than the other console that was just announced. Like, this is what they did when we announced prices for the current gen, right?
Right.
Xbox came out, you're going to get the camera, it's going to cost you $500, and then Sony's like, yeah, we don't need a camera, and you can get our console for $100 cheaper, and that is the reason that they're in the lead right now, is that $100 right
Yeah,
from the get-go.
that's a
So-
great
so
Well,
point.
if they
Microsoft
can
kind of stepped
come
on their
out-
feet at the beginning, but
Well, I agree,
I thought
but
the same
it would not be such a gulf if they both launched at the same price. It just
Right,
it
sure,
wouldn't.
sure.
I totally
So-
agree.
yeah.
So if they can come out, if they can show us great games, and then if they can somehow just kick Microsoft just a little bit after the prices and after the Scorpio to show that their quality and their value is that much better, like, I think they could actually walk away from this much better than we think that they have the
Sure.
potential to.
Cool. Well, okay, guys, what do you think Sony needs to do to win the show? What predictions do you have? Let us know on our Facebook page.
We just told you.
Right.
Oh, the
Right,
audience.
right.
Oh, I get it now.
But, you can find Life of Gaming. on-
male models?
Oh, my gosh. Oh, man. But let us know your predictions on our
Exactly
Facebook and our Twitter page at Life of Gaming Pod. But Sean, before we get out of here, remind our listeners, where can they find you?
I am on Twitter, Sean Capri, Sean the Connery, Capri like the pants. You can find me on We the Gamercast, where I have sweet hangs with strangers from the internet. That's on Mondays on iTunes and Google Play, as well as If We Ran Nintendo on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, SoundCloud, way more
Geek out.
places that Bobby
Right.
puts us on. YouTube.com/Nintendo Guru. Great times. We talk about
Good,
a company that
great
matters.
shows.
And
I'm just kidding. I
sometimes-
love playing it. I'm just kidding.
And sometimes in their show, they have a complete breakdown and yell at each other and quit.
And it's
So
great.
it's
Well,
fantastic.
even better than
Check
that
it
is when I get booted off the show, and then
right.
Chris comes in
Chris
and
comes in
actually
and
knows
saves
what
the
he's
day.
talking
That's
about.
right.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, it's a way better show when I'm not on.
No, it's good. It's a great show.
Well, guys, make sure to go check out all those wonderful places that Sean can be found. As for us, you can find us every week on iTunes, SoundCloud, and the Google Play Store. But stick around for more E3 predictions. We got Nintendo coming up and our third-party predictions. But until next time, guys, we are out.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this content from the Life of Gaming. If you like what you saw, be sure to subscribe down below. You can also catch our weekly podcast every Sunday on iTunes, SoundCloud, and the Google Play Store. You can find us on Twitter at Life of Gaming Pod and on Facebook. Until next time, we are out.